Hey guys, Romie here. So yes, this is the recap for Wayward Pines Season 2, Episode 2. It's called Blood Harvest. And Wayward Pines it truly is a messed up show. I mean, it is such a messed up show because it's one of those shows where it's like you have teen pregnancy, not even teen pregnancy, you have girls that aren't even teenagers yet, pregnant, you have kids essentially running the whole operation for the most part, and it's a mess. So anyway, the episode starts off with, of course, a class full of the young students, the next generation, if you will, and Megan's teaching the class. And right now, the Dr. Jenkins, he's going and giving them this speech about how, you know, what we need to do to make Wayward Pines survive, and how we need to act as a society, and all of that foolishness. And so we switch from that, and you see Jason and Carrie, they go from watching that to watching the video of the of the gate. The gate's actually not broken, but you know, the gate that's actually enclosed Wayward Pines so that people can actually be safe and live in this society. Well, it looks like the Abbeys have smartened up. The Abbeys have smartened up to the point where they can go and sacrifice themselves and stockpile their bodies so that more Abbeys could go over them and try to get over the gate. Yes, these Abbeys are smart. That's why I'm starting to think, wait a minute, how much of these Abbeys are lost when they get transformed or when they're born? Because these seem a little too smart. I'm going to put it out there ahead of time that maybe the Abbeys, when they go and they kill people, they don't necessarily actually just kill and eat people. They more so transform some of them. So some of the Abbeys might be really smart. And there may be one that's actually, or there could possibly be hooked up into one consciousness. So it's like even if one dies, the other one gains its brains type of thing. And I'm saying this because of the fact that this isn't random. They're definitely smarter than they look, which is good because they look horrendous. After that, we get to Rebecca, who's of course Theon's wife. Theon is supposed to be the new Ethan Burke, but Rebecca, I called it last episode. I said something wasn't right about her. She seems too calm and too well adjusted already for someone who hypothetically just woken up by Ethan's standards. Now Ethan is of course outside the gate. He's in the van with Xander and Ben. Now they all make a run for it because they're able to do so only, and I say only because of the fact that the Abbeys are running towards the gate instead of them. Well, partially, for the most part. So then you have the militia come out. The militia come out and their guns blazing because they have to. They have to go and handle the Abbeys from, you know, destroying the gate. And of course, Carrie gets hit by one of the Abbeys in the process. So Jason's just like, okay, we need a doctor, we need a doctor. Now Carrie has, it looks like, internal injuries, and she does. And because of that, now Jason's realizing, oh crap, maybe it was a bad idea for me to go and tell Ethan to go and have Theon just be thrown out so quickly, because now if he dies, we have no one. We don't have any capable doctors anymore if he dies. So he goes and he gets Carrie to safety, and now his job is to go and he tells his people, go outside the gate and bring back Ethan. Now Ethan's in the cornfield, or the cornfield, and the bad thing about that is that it's an open field, so the Abbeys are coming for him. The Abbeys are coming for him, and so he just looks like a screw. Then you see the militia come towards him. It's just like, and I really would call him Ethan. Theon! And it was just like, oh yeah, that's me. Yeah, I want to go. And I'm thinking to myself, Theon, these people left you for dead. If it were me, I would have at least thought twice before just hopping in. Honestly, if it was me. But that's just me. So after that, they go and they save him. Jason's just like, okay, Theon, you're going to do whatever I say. He has a gun point to his head at this point. You're going to do whatever I say, because if you don't, I got something for the ass. I really do. So we're just like, okay, if that's the situation, if that's the scenario, then that's fine. That's what it has to be. And this is where we see that transformation from Theon becoming just him normal, kind of borderline docile self, to this strong, borderline independent. He's really hard-headed, which is a good characteristic to have when you have to deal with these type of people in Wayward Pines. So he's like, you know what, I'm not going to save your girl until I see mine, essentially. So they bring his wife to him, and his wife's just like, look, I don't want anything to happen to you. You are a doctor. It's your job to go and save this woman. So he goes and he conducts the surgery. And again, there was this brief moment where it looks like Theon and, where Rebecca, which is Theon's wife, and Jason, that they knew each other and had conversations. And I'm thinking to myself, this doesn't make any sense. How is that possible how is that possibly possible if you just came out of freezing? Well, we're going to find out. So the surgery was a success, and Carrie's just trying to tell Jason, you can't do this on your own. You can't fight Theon. We need him. This is why we brought him out. Get out of your butt. Swallow your pride. He's very prideful, but we can use that against him. Everything that he thinks that he has is hubris. We can use that against him. We do need him, though. So behave. Behave. So clearly we're going to see Carrie has Jason's ear. We don't know exactly how much power she has over him, but it's enough to where he listens to her. Now, Theon goes to their supposed house, and I'm like, wait a minute. Rebecca's a little bit too comfortable at this house. So Rebecca just talks about how, you know what? I've been here for 3 years. I've been out of the frozen cryogenic stasis pod for 3 years. And so I've had time to think that all this time that you were dead. I moved on. I always hoped, but I moved on. Things are different here. Things are weird. But if we stay compliant, we do as we're told, we can survive. And he's just like, what is wrong with you? We have to get out of here. This is a hallucination. This is in your mind. I know this is in your mind. So I need you to go, get out of your butt, and listen to the sound of my voice. You are crazy. I'm sane. I'll help you. I'll help you. She's like, oh, well, if this is a hallucination, bam! So she goes and slaps him, and it's like, you can't feel pain in the hallucination now, can you? Oh, you can't. Okay, then. So now you understand that this is a real situation. This is real talk. You need to get out of your butt and just do as you're told for now. Can you do that? Can you do that? So CJ, who, I don't know why, I feel like we're supposed to know who he is. I guess he was one of the originals. I don't remember him from last season, if that was the case. And Mario, you know, basically really the two token black main characters are talking with each other. It's just like, okay, so how's the crops doing? They're doing okay. Well, we're going to need to get them, so we're going to go and meet with Jason. They go and meet with Jason, and Jason's just like, are the crops ready? He's like, yes, well, we need them now. Of course, Megan's there to oversee everything. I hate her. I hate her character. Ugh. Just like how I didn't like her in American Crime. She was good, but I'm just saying she irritated me in that character as well. I just realized the roles that she takes, I'm not going to like her in them. Now, he's just like, alright, so what's the game plan? CJ's just like, I don't know what you want from me. The vegetation's ready. Of course, the chemicals in the soil out there is different than what's in here, so the plants are able to grow naturally out there, oddly enough. Now, the thing is, we have to get out there, but the Abbeys are out there. How do you expect to go and get the crop and make sure none of us get hurt? Well, we got flamethrowers. Apparently, they have flamethrowers, so that's really cool. So they're going to use the flamethrowers against the Abbeys since they've never seen them before. The Abbeys have no idea how to handle something like that. And as I said, after Theon has the conversation with Rebecca, Rebecca's just like, I love you, we have our issues, but we're going to go and band together. We're either going to be together or stand further apart. What would you prefer? What would you prefer? So they get a doorbell ring, and essentially Rebecca's friend is just like, you know, your husband's a doctor, right? Well, my son needs help. And it was just like, so are you going to help? So now that propels Theon to go and become the official director of the hospital of Wayward Pines. Now, we see Arlene. I know, we miss little Arlene. Remember, in the previous episode, she was getting a tune-up. And I'm assuming that Arlene remembers how things were before, and so that's her subconscious fighting her way, clawing her way back in. And so when Theon, of course, asked, wait, I've seen you before. It's like, yeah, you saw me in the hospital. I was getting a tune-up. Sometimes I crack and I need one of those. I'm like, okay. So eventually she's going to crack, and so just like, it's an honor to have you. He's just like, shut up. I don't need you to go and pander me. I'm going to do this regardless. And after that, we have Rebecca talking to, what's her name? To Teresa, you know, Ethan Burke's wife and Ben's mother. Well, Teresa's just like, look, your husband came back from the other side of the fence, right? And of course, Ben was with your husband, right? Yes. So, do you know if your husband knows if Ben's okay? And of course, at this time, Rebecca's just happy that Theon's back. So, she's not ready to go and mess that up. So we know she's not going to go and ask Theon to see how Ben's doing, or ask how Ben's doing, because that'll stir up that rebellious side of Theon, which she's trying to keep docile. But, you know, she's just like, yeah, whatever, type of thing. And we have Megan giving this rousing speech to the students there. And like I said, you see this 12-year-old girl, or at least this girl that looks 10, 12 years old, pregnant. I'm just like, this is disgusting. This show is so creepy. This show, someone, in my previous episodes, just like, this show kind of reminds me of like Nazism and things like that. I was like, yeah, I can definitely see that. There's a lot of things that are just grossed out about the show, but the shows in general that we've been getting lately are a lot more darker and a lot more serious. So, which to kind of go with the times, because things aren't really sugar plums and bubble gum and pixie sticks in the world right now. So it makes sense that darker content would be ruling versus more lighthearted stuff. Anyway, one of her students, which I need to know his name because I'm like, there we go. I don't know who you are, but I hope they give you more lines, because if you go and you ask questions in Wayward Pines, that's a problem. But in their current generation, she's trying to instill the fact that as long as you stick together, as long as you do as you're told, we can defeat the Abbeys. And of course, they have an Abbey, a dead Abbey, that's on the table. And I was just hoping for that dead Abbey to come back to life to get her. I was just like, just slit her throat once. Just do it for just once. That's all we need. That's all we need to take out Megan. That's all we need. But yeah, the guy, he actually asked her, well, so is it true that the Abbeys actually climbed up over each other, the dead corpses of their fellow Abbey, to try and get over the fence? She was just like, where did you hear that from? From the rebel rousers? Well, you know, the rebel rousers, you can't listen to them. We just need to sit together. Now, we have, I keep wanting to call him Ethan, because now he's starting to exhibit some of those Ethan traits, except for that walk. He doesn't have that signature Ethan, you know, not Frankenstein, but the monster walk. Now, Theon he's just diagnosing this child. This child is suffering from malnutrition. The issue with that is, it's just like, oh, so what is the food situation like at home? It's just like, well, you know, of course the mother's like, I give my son what I have first and then take whatever's left. And so it was like, whatever's rationed to us. It's like, what do you mean? So it's like, it's based on priority. And of course that just means whoever is contributing more to society there at Wayward Pines is getting the proper nutrition. Everyone else is pretty much poor people, and the scraps are what they get. The bare minimum, just to keep them alive. And I'm just like, okay, so the society is already collapsing from the inside. You just don't know it. So Jason talks with Ethan. It's just like, oh, I see you're getting acclimated. And Ethan's overwhelmed because there's so many people who are sick and need his assistance. And Ethan wants more answers. Ethan's just like, well, I need you to make sure you go and give these people the proper nutrition that they require, because you're supposed to be running this. So why aren't you doing your job to run this? Jason goes, he talks with Carrie. Carrie goes again and reassures him that we need Ethan. We don't have someone like him. It's because of him that my life is saved and spared. So you're not going to do anything to mess this up. Now are you? Now are you? But of course she does it in a more loving way. It's just like, well, you know, he's not one of us. He's not a part of us. It's just like, Carrie's like, I'm not a part of technically your generation either, you know, but you accepted me anyway. And I have a feeling that maybe we could either Carrie's going to go rogue and go aggro at some point this season, or Theon's going to have someone on her side towards the end. Now, we have this cute little girl who is like, oh, are you Mr. So-and-so? This is to Theon. It's like, and I guess that was with either her brother or boyfriend. But he was just like, well, you know, I actually work for your wife at the toy store or something like that. And so he was just like, oh, okay. I'm thinking to myself, little girl, what are the child labor laws there in Wayward Pines? Because clearly there's something not copacetic with this imagery right now. And Ethan then goes home and it's just like, oh, so you used to be a real estate person. So what happened there? She said, this is what happens. They need me to man the toy store. That's what I was doing from this point on. When I initially came on, there was a fire and the ice cream parlor burned down. I was the one who went and created the blueprints to recreate a new one. And that's how the title of that ice cream parlor came to be. Of course, everything that happened prior to Wayward Pines was real and was authentic. Now, everything afterwards, that's up for debate. But can you just please go with the flow? Because you were a doctor back then. You're still a doctor right now. Just accept it for what it is. Can you just do that for me right now? And of course, thankfully, Theon is still being rebellious, but you know, because it's his wife, his technically estranged wife, but he loves her and he wants to work things out, he's gonna go with it for now. Afterwards, we have the militia go out into the fields, and of course the Abbeys are coming after them while they try and get the food, but the crops. But thankfully for them, the flamethrowers are working, and so the Abbeys are getting scared off. Now we see Ben. Ben goes and he tries to get into the gate. The gate closes before he's able to get there. So Ben essentially gives this speech of how, you know what? I'm sorry that I'm not able to say goodbye to my mother, but I feel like I did her proud. I feel like I did the town proud. I feel like I did my father proud. And that's all that really matters. Everything else is hearsay. So, of course, his mom goes and she talks to Mario. And he's just like, look, ma'am, I'm sorry, but I can't help you type of thing. And she's over it. She's over it. They have to carry her out. And she's just like, how is this possible? You guys are from the same class, the same generation. And it's just like, well, no, technically they didn't say this. But I'm thinking to myself, no, technically he was an outsider coming in. He wasn't really raised up with them in the class type of thing. But, so then, of course, some of Mario's people were like, you know, she's right. We're not supposed to harm each other. It's just like, well, he's not really one of us in any way. You're going to go and tell that to Jason? No, I didn't think so. So let's go. And of course, they're over it. Carrie, she is slowly recovering. She's slowly getting better. And so Theon, again, this is his first attempt, first I'm sure of many, to try and see how things really go here. He goes and he talks to Carrie and he pries her for information. This is where he realizes she's the one kind of pulling the strings in the background, kind of controlling Jason in a good way, you know, keeping him in check type of thing. So it's like, okay, so you're the person who I need to go to whenever I need to get something through him, from him. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Now, again, Jason and Carrie have another conversation. Carrie has a heart and it's just like, we can't leave Ben out there. That's pretty messed up to leave Ben out there. You know, he's struggling. He needs, he's one of us. She's like, no, he's not one of us. She's like, no, I'm not one of you either. He's like, no, I accept you, so you are. Theon goes again and talks with his wife. And right now, they're going to go and pretend to make amends and make peace. But Theon will continue to search and pry because he's going to find a way out of here. We're not going to sit there and let us be killed type of thing. So they're going to find their way out at some point. I don't know why, because they'll eventually get killed. But they see the video of Ben, as I said, and Ben, they wouldn't let him in. So he had to go and run. Ben was killed. As far as we know, Ben was killed because we see a bunch of Abbeys go and chew on him. But I'm thinking to myself, because also Xander got killed by the Abbeys, I'm thinking, okay, something's off here. All the Abbeys are no longer running towards the fence. They're not even in the fields. So now I'm wondering, did they find another way in? Is that why? like, that's what I'm thinking. Maybe when the Abbeys go and kill people, or maybe they don't kill everyone, they keep some of them hostage, and so that's where they're getting their intel from, and they're smarter than we think. Let me know. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. It's definitely starting to pick up, and I appreciate